looking into the police force. So many reform committees, remember, has been set up about this one, but the police college really, really needs some help. Well, let's take a look at this report and we'll start from there.
Of the Premier Police College from the outside. From here, it is hard to imagine the state of things on the inside. And when one is granted the opportunity to come in, the complex looks good enough for a visitor to assume all is well within the college. But within the office walls, the scene turns really bad. The office of the officer in charge of works in the college can only boast these old typewriters. The chairs are in a terrible state, and when it comes to the training facilities, much is left to be desired.
We'll seek the assistance on the environment. We'll seek the assistance and the help of everybody around them.
For 13 months, the trainees receive lectures in here. With nothing to cool the room, the students who sit in this overcrowded lecture hall are expected to assimilate knowledge.
Of course, the learning facilities is key. You don't have learning facilities in that place. Where they use cafeterias to do their teaching and learning is terrible. If you say police college, that's supposed to be the premier police college in Nigeria. It's unbelievable.
It used to have an Olympic-sized swimming pool, but this is what is left of it. Today, the pool breeds toads. The college that used to boast the best shooting team in the region now has no shooting range for the current set of recruits. And welcome to the college's driving school. It is obvious that the college has really seen better days.
Since when the college was established, there have been no any major development, only some few renovations. And the intention of the white people before, they have the facilities on ground then. They have swimming pool, the water system, they are good, but with time, those things were not functioning again.
Like how many people did they build the school for then?
About 700.
And how many students are here now?
2,554. So, all the facilities now, they are stretched. No development, no renovation.
The staff of the college reluctantly told me that they cannot remember the last time books were supplied to the library. The majority of the books here were purchased in the 1970s. In these days of electronic books and a library, this is what the Premier Police College in Nigeria can boast as its library. Outdated books are all we can find here. No computers, no internet access, there's no fan, no AC to make the users comfortable. You can see how I'm sweating here. With all these, one wonders if the graduates of this institute are adequately equipped to face the security challenges of the 21st century. Ayola Kasim reporting for Channels Television News.
Well, there you have it, and we'll just begin to look at some of those matters and how do we save the Nigerian police. We're joined now by Dr. Tokunbo Adedeji, who is of the Professionals for Change. Morning, and thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, yes, indeed, we need professionals, even all and sundry, to change the scenario. Were you surprised at what you've seen?
No. Over 20 years ago, I've had this clarion call that something needs to be done for us to be able to say that we have a police system in Nigeria.
20?
Over 20 years ago.
Okay.
Wow.
And to the extent that it would seem nobody is hearing, I'm going to repeat exactly what I suggested 20 years ago today. If I had my way, I would close down all police barracks throughout the Federation.
Why?
That's where the rot of the police starts. No matter how much you give training to policemen at the college, by the time they get into the barrack system, they lose everything that you have trained them with, and they acquire the new barrack mentality. The barrack mentality is a mentality that segregates the police from the rest of the society. They become the us and them. The society is the them, and the police in the barrack is the us. They have within the setup of the barrack new rules, new codes of conduct that permeates the whole of the system, including the children that were born and raised within the barracks.
So the code of conduct, or the code of conduct within the barracks, is it totally different from the code of conduct supposed to be guarding the policeman?
Throughout the society, yes.
What is that?
Let me give you an example. The kind of discussion that goes on between policemen who sometimes are neighbors in the barrack is, oh boy, where are you now? Don't mind a guy, post me go this poor people area for Surulere. Now, only 500 naira I bring come home last weekend. And he say, Joe, you have to go to Oga. Go find something, give Oga now. They can bring you come Allen Avenue. Last time, 5,000 naira I bring come home. And there is no third party to interject and say, excuse me, this is not the proper way for you to discuss about your duty as police officers. That is the reality that they have not faced over these years. Now, the reality that we have to face as a society is that we need to bring the police to live within us. The police must live in the society in which they're policing. They must not be segregated from the society they are policing. Look, check. Check anywhere in the Western world where you will find a police barrack within any of the communities.
So this is not about training.
It is not about training.
And it's not about old facilities.
It is not about old facilities either. It is about a culture that has to be broken down, a culture that has to be changed, a culture that has to be a reorientation course to give police the sense of belonging, the sense of dignity that they require to do their job.
Well, some people will say that it will start from training. Because, I mean, if you've been through some ideals, or if you've been through an ideal facility, chances are that you might still have some of it left in you when you go to even an environment as unfriendly as the barracks.
How much of it rubs off on you when you get back into the larger society of the police community? How much of that training is left on you?
But we will never know if we do not try to
That's what we see every day.
Mm-hmm.
It would seem to me they didn't have the training at all. By the time you measure and judge the police with their behavior in the rest of society, it would seem they were not trained before. So it's not a question of training. It's a culture. I'll give you a very good example of what I'm trying to say. Imagine that you have police live within your community and they set up a checkpoint. Take, for instance, Shita in Surulere, and the policeman is living in that community. And I'm on my way home with my children in the car, and the policeman stops me. And he says, Oga, your particulars. And I say, oh, my driver's, okay. Oga, park. And I say, no, I have found it. And I put 200 naira that I collected from my wife, put it in the, and I say, Oga, this is my particular. And he says, oh, you say you no get. He takes the 200 naira and goes off. And my little kid is seeing all that. Following day, he's playing on the ground with the child of the police officer, who is our neighbor. And my child says to the child of the police officer, your father took money from my father yesterday. The child goes back home to challenge the father, to say, Ima said you took money from his father yesterday at the checkpoint. The message gets home. Next time, he's not going to ask me to give him money. He's not going to ask for my particulars. He will do his job.